I thank God it's Friday, right? So, we're still in a shutdown, as far as I can tell, right? We're in a shutdown. And our national parks are being destroyed by the tackiest, most disgusting, Hitler loving president we've ever had in office. So thanks a lot for that, MAGA people. And for all of you who decided not to vote. All right. So, retired National Park Service leaders appeal for closure of national parks. I can't, you guys. Videos of base jumpers leaping from cliffs in Yosemite National Park have prompted another call for national parks to be closed. Rebecca Latson file. With base jumpers leaping illegally from cliffs in Yosemite National Parks and reports of squatters in Yosemite and park restrooms across the country overflowing with garbage. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum is again being urged to close the national park system while the government remains in a partial shutdown. These clearly demonstrate the problems with keeping parks open with minimal or no staff, reads a letter sent Thursday by 450 former national park leaders. There have been less high profile reports of bathrooms overflowing. Trash that is not being picked up. This is what I predicted in the video that I just did. Are they packing out their trash? Right? I literally just said this in the last video I did. And trails that are not being safely maintained or monitored, right? Exactly. So I mentioned that the High Sierra generally gets shut down during the winter months. Now we have an unseasonably warm um, situation going on here, but the temps did dip this week. So I imagine that it wouldn't have been safe to do some of the activities that these squatters are engaging in right now. But the weather is supposed to start rising again over the weekend or by Monday or something like that. At least in Southern California. I we don't always have the same weather pattern statewide, right? The letter, which did not point to areas where bathrooms were overflowing with garbage or where trash was piling up, comes a month after 36 former national park superintendents called for the parks to be closed if the government shut down. He doesn't care, you guys. He doesn't care if he destroys everything that we've preserved. He does not care. All he wants is his ballroom. And by the way, I should certainly hope that Congress will pass a law preventing any future president from making any sort of changes to our national monuments, including the White House. Maintenance, sure. But don't you build on our White House. You are a tenant, sir. The latest letter signed by former park superintendents, facility managers, chief rangers, interpreters, regional directors, and park rangers, and many others who worked in the Park Service reminded Burgum that the Park Service already was strained. Yeah, because they keep cutting the budgets, right? Staff wise. during the summer months. Specifically, they pointed to internal operational data from the Park Service that surfaced in August and pinpointed how staffing and funding cuts implemented by the Trump administration were impacting facility maintenance, have led to canceled youth programs and reduced staffing in the campgrounds. Goodbye, Junior Rangers. This is so sad to me, you guys. This is hard for me to see happen. I mean, obviously, everything is hard for me to see happen. The attack against our people of color in the U.S., uh, ICE operating as thugs. This is all very sad to me. But these are lands that were preserved. Some of which were predicted in the National Parks Traveler Story in January, have led parks to seek volunteers to perform trail work and provide guided tours. Stick to winter operational hours rather than expanding to summer hours, and slowed repairs to facilities damaged by past year's hurricanes. So now we're talking like East Coast parks and Gulf Coast parks. The shutdown has made this bad situation far worse, the letter said. Fundamentally, keeping parks open without adequate staff is in violation of the National Park Service's founding mission and inconsistent with the laws passed by Congress. Where's Congress? Why aren't you guys doing your job? Specifically, the department is in violation of the Organic Act, which states that the National Park Service will protect and conserve the natural and cultural resources and the wildlife therein to leave them unimpaired for future generations, and the Redwood Act that says nothing should be allowed in derogation of park values unless specifically provided by Congress. We recognize that closing parks is not an easy decision, but it's the responsible one. Protecting our parks now ensures that future generations can enjoy them as we do today. Well, as we did yesterday. As we did the year before. Because now we have knuckleheads going in and absolutely trashing our parks. Well, residents, I can't. Wait, what's this one say? Oh, this is about a publication that they do. I'll put the link to this article so you guys can read it if you want and check out the ads. Residents of the following states may obtain a copy of our financial and additional information as stated below. Oh, this is for the National Parks Travelers financial statements. And they have all the states. I don't know what that means. Like, do they only publish in those states? Because I'm in California, that's where I'm reading it. So, is this what you guys wanted when you're like, oh, well, I gotta vote Republican because that means lower taxes. Lower taxes for who? Who gets lower taxes here? The ultra rich, the super rich, they get some lower taxes, right? What's happened to your grocery bills? What's happened to your gas bills? You know, like your utilities, your ability to buy things. Like we are in a hyperinflation situation, and we are entering a depression. They're trying very hard not to call it that, but because the way that they measure whether we're going into a recession is based on jobs growth, employment, over the course of 3 periods of time, right? Like 3 quarters of the year. If there is a decline in employment, then we are considered in a recession. How is that? If it's more severe than what would qualify us as a recession, isn't that a depression? I mean, I have taken 5 economy classes over the course of my education. Um, and this, he's trying to bankrupt all of us, all of us. And he doesn't have any respect. He's quite literally the kind of guy that would go into a national park, eat his lunch, and then throw his trash like into a meadow. That is what Trump is. This is so disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And he's already started tearing up the East Wing, which is the offices of the First Lady. I'm sure she loves that. Dude, I think she is just waiting for nature to work its wonders on his heart. Anyhow, that is the update today, you guys. So, wow, it was crazy.